Be right there. Hello, hello, hello. I'll be right there. Coming. Coming. Okay, hello. What's happening? Okay. Hello, Lila. Hello, Raymond. Oh, ah. Okay, hello. Wait, no, we're still not there. This is a new, these updates are, all right, hang on, sorry. Okay, okay, okay. Hello, hello. Oh, I love the hellos. All right, there are more people coming. Sorry, I'm starting as chaotically as I ended last time. Hold on. So first of all, okay, yes, thank you for the hellos. Let's do the hellos. Um, hello. Oh no, the videos first. Hello, Lila. Hello, Raymond. Hello, Michael. Hello, Joyce. Hello, Sophia. Hello, Mantra. That's awesome. Great to see you. Hello. Now I'm doing the chat. Hello, Nickel. Hello, Nico. Hello, Sophia. Excuse me. Hello, Sophia. Good afternoon, Tania. Good afternoon, Joyce. Good afternoon, Luis. Hi, Montserrat. Hello, Samaya. And of course, you should still be correct. Well, part of this is I'm still getting to know you, so correct me, obviously. Hello, Samaya. Hello, Jadith. Good afternoon, Danielle. Okay, ooh, and more people coming. Okay, wait, we are recording. Okay. Um, okay, yes. Hello, all of you. Thank you for the hellos. Again, just as a quick reminder, those hellos count. Like I like the hellos. It's like better than taking attendance, right? Like, and it also acknowledges to me that you can hear me and see me and all that stuff. So good afternoon, Camille. Awesome. And I will do this every time. It'll take less and less time, obviously, each time. But so good afternoon, Chen. Yes. Wait, do I say Chen? No, I say Shen. Sorry, Shen. Um, and good afternoon, Camille. So yeah, I'm gonna say, and those of you again who like to be quiet, like if you just said hello in the chat or whatever, boom, that's your participation for tonight. That's fine. You can submit it as we've discussed. Okay. So we're gonna get rolling here. Who? And I know, by the way, hold on 1 second, just a quick private chat moment or okay, bear with me for a second. Okay, more people coming in. Okay, okay. Who else? Oh, more. Oh, wait, Harris. Hmm, wait, one. Okay, we're still rolling. We're still figuring things out here. Oh, okay. No, no, no. Good, good, good. Fine, fine, fine. Okay. Again, the ratio of physics to human stuff will get higher and higher each class. We're still, getting ourselves together here. But so it won't be 100% physics today, but we're going to start rolling with the physics now or shortly. We're going to shortly start. Hello. Yeah, we're going to shortly start going over homework 1B. Which sounds out of order. So let me make a couple announcements and get so we're going to start. So the real physics homework for today was homework 1B, a thing on a spring. We're going to start walking through that in a few moments, but let me make a couple of things clear. And we're going to start walking through it according to the 5-step method. So in a few minutes, once I start taking notes, when we start taking notes, I'll be showing you how to do homework 1, but really what I'm really trying to do is show you how to do the 5-step method in general for all future assignments, for all future problems, including exams. Now, some of you have seen this method before, depending on who you had for Physics 203, or if you took Physics 203 at John Jay, and some of you have not. That's fine either way. Why am I suddenly confused? So, for some of you, this will be a little bit redundant, but by the end of today, I want everybody to be on the same page. I certainly know that there are some people in the room that have to see this for the first time. So those of you who already seen it, like, bear with me. But the goal by the end of today is that there's a clear understanding of what I'm expecting for all future problems and all future exams, i.e. the 5-step method. That means we're not going to get very far into homework 1 today. We're probably maybe only going to get through like 1 or 2 questions. That's fine. I want to be clear about a couple of things. Number 1, you'll note that we don't have another big homework due for a little while. It takes us a while in this class to walk through homework 1. There's a lot going on homework 1 that lays out the sort of the skills and the tools for a lot of what we do for the rest of the semester. So we take time with homework 1. That means, and now stop me if I'm not being clear at all, or if there's something else you need to hear, but this means, please don't be frustrated if the class ends and we're only like on to question 1 or 2 of homework 1. That means when we pick up again on Monday, I won't then be re-talking about all the steps of the step method. I'll just be like getting into the actual physics by then. That's number 1. Number 2, please understand, no matter where you are with homework 1, we're going to talk about that in a minute, you still have plenty of time to either turn it in, period, or probably more particularly to improve what you've already done and fix it, revise it, and upload a new draft. I want to talk about the specifics of that in a second. If you fix anything in your homework according to anything we do today in class, that is not cheating at all. Like, that's the point of class. And if you help each other with the homework, that is most certainly not cheating. If you go on the web to learn the concepts, that is not cheating. We'll talk more and more about that, especially because I know a lot of you took 203 at John Jay, but most of you didn't have me, most. So we'll get into all of like what I consider cheating and what not, like when it's appropriate. But right now, what I'm just trying to say is everybody still has, well, with a minor exception, just about no matter who you are, you still have plenty of time to get all the points for homework 1, assuming that you turned in any kind of draft at all before it was due, like when it was due 10 minutes ago. If you turned in anything before it was due, then you're getting a bunch of points for just having done that. And then anything that's wrong about it or missing or whatever, you've plenty of time to get the remaining points. If you didn't turn it in at all yet, you may want to talk to me personally about that, and maybe we'll figure out, maybe we'll be flexible for the first assignment. I'm already getting myself lost in the shuffle. Wait, I'll look. Oh, yes. Okay, I'm looking in the chat. Hold on. Oh, hold on 1 second. Sorry. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. Okay. So, and again, obviously there's things happening in the private chat, so feel free. Oh. Oh, there's other things in private chat. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Um, so again, in a minute, we're going to go to homework 1 and walk through it. Walk through the 5-step method as it applies to homework 1. Homework 1B. Again, also the 5-step method is a summarized version. I mean, I hope you take notes on all this. I'm going to be saying a lot of expanded things on this, but the basic steps of the method are like summarized right here, and they're summarized on a sheet, or they're abbreviated right here, and they're summarized on a sheet in the tools section of Google Classroom. But today I'm going to try to explain in detail what I mean by these acronyms and so forth. Homework 1A, before I like, why am I going out of order? I'm going out of order because I want to get rolling and make clear what I'm expecting from you guys, like for the rest of the semester. Homework A is more for fun, and we'll get the material going. Like once we get through this, I'm going to go back on Monday and talk about why I asked you to do homework 1A. Like it is actually important, but it isn't important that you stress over it. It's just important that you think about it so we could talk about it Monday. So with homework 1A on that one, again, if you handed it in on time at all, if you got it in before today, almost no matter, as long as it's clear what you wrote, you're going to get full credit for that just for having done it. I haven't put the points in yet, and I apologize, but I will. So now let me start. I'm just looking at the chat again. Okay. Let me start turning to homework 1B. A couple more housekeeping items on it. Technically, it was due at the beginning of this class. So like if this were old fashioned and we didn't have like all this electronic stuff, old fashioned, you would have just given it to me. So of course I wouldn't be marking it until like tonight or whatever. So no problem. Thank you. So some of you haven't gotten it back yet at all. And I apologize for that. Like some of you, again, I can assure you, and there might be a moment in today when I look at it. Some of you haven't gotten back it yet at all, even if you maybe handed in a couple hours ago or a day ago, and I apologize. But most of you, if you turned in homework 1B, then you've probably already gotten a bunch of points on it and you got a bunch of feedback. If some of the feedback refers to some of the steps, which I'll make more clear now in today's class, I just want to say again, if you've already gotten points and you've already gotten feedback, please understand the points are not a percentage. So if you got like even 21 out of 35 points, don't think you got a C or something like that. Not at all. It means you got a bunch of points for doing a bunch of work. And now, if you want to get the rest of the points, no problem. You will. You like resubmit by next week. You'll get the rest of the points if you follow whatever feedback I put there or whatever I'm about to explain in class. But the one thing I want to say to everybody is, if you could do as many revisions as you need to do to get all the points. You can and you should. But to do a revision, what I want you to do always is keep the old document up there and attach a new document. Each new document that you attach should be like a next draft. So let's say, so I know this is all vague, but like, or boring, but let's say you did a good job on the homework. You've already turned it in. You got like 21 points or you got 27 points or like whatever, right? And let's say the only thing that's missing, and I wrote like a bunch of times step 2 WIQ or something, which turns out to mean that I need you to make the question clear. To me, even if it's clear to you, you need to start each thing with the question. I'm going to explain that in a minute. So it might be a very easy correction for you to make. It might not be stressful at all, but I need it. However, you can't just submit a separate piece of paper that like just has questions written on it, or you can't just like insert the questions on your old piece of paper. You consider the old piece of paper a first draft, and now you're going to make a final draft. So one way or another, you do want to like redo everything you did before, even if it's you're just copying yourself, and add the thing I'm asking. In other words, if you want the rest of the points, you have to give me a new document that I can just look at the new document, and the new document is that much better than the old document. You don't want me having to like cross-reference, okay? So that's on the one hand. I'm going to stop in a minute to make sure this is clear. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Oh, great question in the chat. I mean, so the fast answer, okay. Great question in the chat from Jadith. The fast answer is sadly yes. I'll elaborate on that more in a minute. But like, I mean, do we have to? Well, we don't have to do anything, but you get to redo the homework. I mean, yes, I'll elaborate. So I don't mean that punitively. I'm going to re-explain that, or I'm going to expand on that in a minute. But yes, the quick answer to Jadith. So Jadith's question, since it's a public question, is, and it's a great question, and you should submit for points for having asked this question. So if we didn't, she says, and also everybody correct me if I do the wrong pronoun. Seriously, sorry. I mean, I really, because I especially, well, whatever, just correct me on the pronouns. Uh, oh, well, okay. See, I didn't, okay. So, okay. So I'm sorry. Yeah. Cause my bad, my bad. I truly apologize. So Jada's question, by the way, sorry, not to be weird or awkward. Well, I'm already awkward. I'm born awkward, but not to be weird. Just know there's a portal also. Wait, I'll get to that in a minute. Let me finish this point. So it's a great question from Jadith. If you didn't do the 5-step method, even if like you like rocked the physics, like you remembered all the physics or whatever, you figured it out and you got all these right answers. Yes, it's true that if you didn't do the 5-step method, you won't have gotten all the points. And yes, if you want all the points, you'll want to redo the homework according to the 5-step method to get all the points. But let me make this clear again, especially like this is new to everybody. First of all, I'm not even being sarcastic when I say you don't have to. I mean, you literally don't have to, because these are not because all of this in effect is for tons of extra points to help your average, but you're never getting zeros or something like that if you don't do it. So I am being serious. Like there's going to be a point in the semester where it's not worth it to some of you to revise homework and you'll just want to move on to the next ones. If you got like a 27 out of 35, that's not a bad score at all. It's 27 points. It's not like a B minus or something. So first of all, if you're satisfied with the number and you're getting pressed for time and you want to move on to the next thing, first of all, no, you don't have to revise anything, really. But second of all, yes, if you want all the points, then do what I say and do the 5-step method and then revise. But please also again understand, I know I haven't taught you the 5-step method yet. It's always going to be like this in this class. It's not a punishment. It's a feedback draft. You're always in this class first going to take an attempt on something that I have not yet explained. That is how it works. Whether we like it or not, you're not crazy. If you go to do a homework and you're like, wait, were we supposed to read about this in the textbook first? Were we supposed to watch a video on this first? Was he supposed to have explained this first? Like, no, you didn't miss anything. If you get to homework and you're like, wait, I just have to like figure this out from just like what we already know in class, but we've never literally done this problem before. Right. That's correct. Sometimes that will be very frustrating to you sometimes, but it's even more frustrating if you think you're doing the wrong thing. You're not. You didn't miss anything. Are you supposed to read in a textbook before you do homework? No. Can you look anywhere you want online for any kind of help before you do a homework? Sure. Can you ask any of your friends and work together as groups? Sure. Part of the reason I don't do textbooks anymore is because it's just ridiculous for me to try to compete with Google. Like really, like everybody or Khan Academy or whatever. Use whatever resources you want to try to learn things if you want before you try a homework. You're allowed to do all of that. But I am telling you, none of that's required. The idea of physics is we're learning how to do what we don't know how to do. So you will always be asked to think about things first and get better and better at figuring things out from what we already know in the class, from the prior homeworks, not from any independent reading. You're going to get, oh, and I see there's things in the chat. I'm going to check it out in a second. You're going to get better and better at doing that. You're going to be a little bit frustrated at first when you have to figure things out that you don't know how to figure out. Welcome to physics. But the flip side is that's why you always have tons of time and tons of opportunities to revise and re-upload once I start talking in class to get all the points. That's the trade-off. So like with the 5-step method, I didn't teach it already. So you didn't know it already. So you maybe didn't get all the points, but now I'm going to teach it. Now you can get all the points. But it's much better if it always starts with you, in my experience. Okay, still have tons of, so it was a great question. I still have, I'm going to look at the chat. Wait. Oh, sorry. Oh, wait. Okay. Okay, wait, so there's something private in the, I mean, there's something in the private chat. I'm getting myself, but one other thing before I go further. So I see there's something in the direct chat. I'll get to that in a minute, or I'll try. Um, and obviously, again, like what I'd like to ultimately get back to is homework 1. But 2 quick things. Number 1, Jadith had a question, right? Hopefully I answered it. Hopefully, I mean, it took forever, but hopefully I answered it. If Jadith puts in the chat, you answered my question, or like, that's cool, I get it now. That's more points for Jadith, just to remind you. I just want to be clear, like, because we're getting used to this. Tonight, when, cool, all right, cool, thanks. So now, just as a quick example, just because this is new to everybody, because it's like an unusual system, check it, comma, yo, check it. If, okay, got it. Direct chat person has to leave already. Got it. Yes, thank you. No problem. Cool. Thank you for telling me. Okay. Turn 2 is due tonight. That's where you just submit like anything that you did today, including saying hello, right? For 5 points. Just as an example, Jadith, even if Jadith has done other things, Jadith could, for his turn 2, he could write, I'm the one that asked that question and corrected your and corrected your gender thing, Yaverbaum. I'm the one who did that. That's my participation for today. Okay. So Jadith submits that and gets 5 points, right? But now also that very entry also he could put other places. Like, for example, there is a portal that says respectfully corrected or something like that. Like, for whenever I make a mistake and you correct me, when you catch errors of mine, usually they mean physics, but if you catch an error of mine and you correct me, any one of you, without shaming me, right, you get points for that. So Jadith can, I want to make clear that you can and should double dip, in other words. Jadith can say one thing in the 5-point portal, but then that exact same thing he can put in the I corrected you, Professor portal. And then also, I said, is it clear now? And he said, yeah, it's clear now. So he can put that same thing in the closing a conversational path portal. I just want to make that, and that's what I want you guys to do. Any way that you participate, any portal that applies, you put it in and get as many points as you can. I know there's still other things happening in the chat that I want to answer. Sorry to be all over the place. But now, on the same token, let's say, for example, like Lila is showing video today, like, thank you. Like, so is Raymond, so are other people. But like, for example, Lila is showing video. She also showed video the other day. To be clear, if she submitted video the other day, like a screenshot that she was showing video the other day, and she got 7 points or 8 points, whatever it is, right? Now, today, she wants to get points again for showing video again. She should get points again for showing video again. So what she should do today, when she goes to the video portal, she should do the same thing that I'm asking all of you to do whenever you upload a new revision of an actual physics homework, which is she wants to keep the old screenshot up there. If we're talking about like participation, right? Or if it was homework 1 and she's revising it, or someone else is like Raymond is revising homework 1, he wants to keep, I want him to keep the old document up there so I can see all these revisions and see how hard you're working and see that you're not beating yourself up and destroying your old work. You're just improving upon your own work, right? Hello, science, research. So in either of those cases, what Layla would do, or Raymond would do, or anybody, or Tanya would do, is they would go to that assignment where I've already given them a grade. And so to make sure that they get more points, not destroy their old points, they would first hit the button that says unsubmit. Like, that's important. And frankly, it was not at all obvious to me. It might be obvious to some of you, but you first hit unsubmit. So basically you're telling Google like that, wait, like backsies, I want backsies. Like, that's not my assignment anymore. I'm like, and it doesn't mean you're taking back the document. It just means you're taking back like that it counts. So you hit unsubmit, then you attach the new document. So it goes up in addition to the old document. Then you hit submit again. Then I will get notification that you've like somehow improved your old portal, or you've added something, and your old stuff won't disappear and your old grade won't disappear. I'll just be able to add points to it now. That's kind of important. And if you missed it or if it ever confuses you, let me know. But okay, so that's true for both. Oh, sorry. And then Raymond. So that's true for both regular physics that you're fixing and all these like participation portals. Now, I just want to recognize there's still more in the chat that I haven't answered, and I will get to. And even if all I'm doing is answering questions, I'm fine with that. If you're fine with that, if it's not confusing people. But Raymond has his hand up, so go, Raymond.
Yeah, about the resubmission thing. I'm not sure if it's on my side, but I can't see any of the feedback that you put in, like the comments itself on the Google Doc or
Oh
the
wait,
Google Drive document. I just
wait.
see the highlighted portions.
Oh, wait, that is really important. Hang on one second, because yeah, no, that's really important. And if you, I'm gonna check right now if because some of you didn't get feedback, but yeah, I mean, some of you didn't get it marked at all yet. But if you did, if you're seeing highlights and you're seeing a number, then you're right. There is feedback there. So hang on, let me look. Oh yeah, there's definitely feedback on yours. Hang on, hang on. So it might be. Oh yeah, how do you do that? Okay, so on your side, you're because you're right. Yes, there are comments. Are you looking? Wait, can you actually, does it give you an option to literally open the document in Google Docs?
Yes, when I do that though, it opens the document but without the highlights or
Wait,
the stuff that I added.
really? Okay. Wait. But that makes, wait a minute. Oh, wait. Oh, I think I see what happened. Hold on. Oh, I see what happened. Oh, that's probably true for many of you. Wait, I'm so glad you're bringing this up. I know why it happened. Bear with me. That's a great question. Watch this. I think this will fix it for, I think many of you have this issue right now because I think I see what I did. One second. Okay, give one second. It's going, it's going. What should happen now, if you refresh your screen and check, and I'm going to refresh mine. What I think is you should now see, oh, and someone's trying to join, sorry. You should now see that there's a nut, like if you go back to the original Google Classroom, there should be not only your original PDF that you put, but there should be like literally another document there that's called like edited PDF or something. And I think, wait, well, it look now because I think I accidentally didn't return. Oh, wait, people are joining. Hold on. Look now. I feel like it should be there now. Although I don't see the second document, so maybe I'm crazy. Hold on one second.
I think you just made something available. Like I see my grade now. I wasn't able to see it before.
Right, that's good. Wait, is that? Hold on, I'm going back and forth
Yeah,
with.
same here actually.
Wait, so yeah, I didn't realize until you said that. I didn't realize that I had done all this work on it, but I never hit return. I never hit return. So right, you never got the grades or anything. So now you should see the grades, but still with Raymond, with your point, but do you see the document now with the comments or no?
Still no. I
Wait,
just see one document, which is the one I submitted that you highlighted, but I don't see any words or comments.
and you don't see the and if let me see one because I see them on my
Sorry to interrupt. Maybe it's on the private comments. Like I know I see that you left a private comment for me.
Yes, those are there. But what he's talking, and that is helpful. And by the way, you should submit that points for multiplayer co-op. But what he's talking about, he's talking about literally in the document where I literally like put edits, like marking comments, like in the document that he's right that are not even, I can't explain the difference, like in the Google Doc, not so hold on. And right, there should be a way to see them. Why? Okay, one second. But here too, you literally try to open it in Google Docs and you still don't see them there?
Yeah, when I open it in Google Docs, actually, hang on. Sorry. Okay, so when I print it out or when I print it to PDF, it seems the text box do pop up. So I think that's what I should just do.
Oh, wait,
Yeah,
this might be a trick important for everybody. What did you figure out? If you do what, then it,
yeah. So if I hit print when I under the preview for the PDF, and then it opens up another window for me, which is like the PDF itself. And when I highlight or when I hover over the highlights, a text box shows up, which I'm assuming is your comments.
Oh, well, that is true. They are, but wow. Okay, no, this is really helpful. And boy, that is a lot. I mean, I apologize that it has to be such a
That's okay.
process. When I do these by hand on like I do these things different ways. Sometimes, but now I know maybe I'll try to not do it this way. Hold on. And because I see in the chat, other people are saying that the people like, I don't want to mention people's by name. Someone else put in the chat they're having the same issue. If you could try what Raymond just said. Why? Oh my God, this is really, yeah, that's a lot. There's no reason you should have to go through that much just to see. And frankly, usually people, if I do things like that, like mark up the PDF, usually it uploads a separate PDF called edited PDF and lets you see them right there. Why? All right. And obviously we don't want to spend the whole class here. I'm gonna look, I think this is important. I'm sure not everybody wants me to spend the whole class period on, but I'll look more into this after the class. I don't know why. Right. So hold on. I'm just responding to the direct chat. But if you could try for the moment, those of you who see anything like what Raymond just said, if you see highlights, if you got points and you didn't get all the points, then yes, I did put feedback on it. And yes, you would want to see that feedback. So try to do what Raymond just said. For starters, like try to print it as a PDF and see what it looks like there. Yeah, why? It's true. It's even on my side. It's weird that it's all right. I have to think about this. I don't know. I'll think about this and get back to you, people, and I appreciate it. And all of you should submit for points on this. But yes, you should poke around and assume that there is feedback. I'm about to tell everybody in general what like a lot of the feedback is the same for people anyway. So I'm about to get into that. So but remind me of this, please, next week. If you haven't heard from me more, or if I haven't figured this out, remind me next week. Okay. If you put in the direct chat, any of you who put in the direct chat, I also don't see anything on mine. Just to save time and hassle, if you could put in the direct chat whether you tried, if you heard what Raymond said and you tried that, and if that did anything, that would appreciate that. I know everybody wants me to move on, and I will. Yeah, I think it's time for me to move on. But there's one question that's been in the direct chat this whole time that I keep ignoring. Which says, would I mind sharing the percentage of the exam homeworks in lab like overall grade? Okay, so that's of course a very important question, a very fair question. I think I said it. I'm going to say it like over and over again a lot because it's so important. Oh wait, someone's hand is up. I'm sorry. Sorry, Tania, your hand is also up, and then I'll get to that what I was about to say. But Tania, yeah.
Sorry, Professor. I know you mentioned it. It's just like I didn't hear the last part. So very quickly, when you say you go to a portal, like say we're resubmitting or updating the homework, right? Do you want us to like you mentioned something about unsubmit it first and then resubmit it, or I'm just mixing it up? I'm a
No,
little
you're right.
confused on the term.
Yeah. No, that's right. Like if and when you want to attach a new file to something that you already like, anytime you've already gotten a grade on something, but now you're trying to attach more to get a higher grade, right? So for any like regular physics or participation stuff, if you're ever trying to add a new document to get more points, you have to first hit the button that says unsubmit. It makes you feel like you're about to take down a document, or it makes me feel that way, but you're not. If you hit unsubmit, it just means you're no longer counting this as like your final grade, or you no longer want me to count this as your final product. So you hit unsubmit, then you attach file or something like that, and you put up the new document. And the whole purpose of this is so that you can leave the old document up there. And then you press submit or turn it in, whatever the button is. And that way the grade will stay, the old document will stay, but I'll get notification to look at it again and look at the new document you posted and give you more points. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand. It's just like one of my assignment, I see that there is an option for unsubmit, but the other one, it just still saying like resubmit. There is no button for unsubmit. But I'm assuming because you haven't graded, it could
Right.
be.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
I
right.
cleared it up. Yeah. Thank you so
That-
much.
Okay, no, thank you. Okay. So also now, all right, I'm looking at the direct. All right. Now, again, this is a balancing act. Like, again, I'm sure some of you are like, move on, move on. And I respect that. But I also want you all to know, like, right, this is like, I'm seeing things in the chat. I'd never want to ignore the chat or ignore you guys. It's like, so it's a balancing act. I'm seeing some things in the chat that said that they tried what Raymond said, but it didn't work for them. So I'm going to think about it. It's weird. I don't know why this has never come up before. I will think about this and get back to you. But yes, in the meantime, assume if you see yellow lights, if you see yellow highlights and you didn't get a perfect score, then yes, somewhere in there, there's feedback. And at the worst, probably the feedback was about how to use the 5-step method. Like, sooner enough, I'm going to give you all the correct answers to this. Like, that's not going to be unclear what the answers are. But right now, what's new and unclear to people is, what do I mean by the 5-step method? So that is the thing that I will explain in class in like 2 minutes. So at worst, like, just take notes on that. And probably that's what you need to do for your homeworks. Again, you'll get full credit for homework 1A as long as you did it at all. I just didn't do that yet. But the last thing that I was going to say, and there's no new homework. And also, please, again, understand, there's no new homework due Monday, just to try to catch up with all of this stuff. Okay, there's something I was going to say, but I'm going to start dealing with homework 1 now. I feel like, so I'm going to turn the page. Oh, no, that's it. I'm sorry. The question that was in the chat about the grading system. So the grading system, I'm going to keep, I think I kind of explained it already, but that's okay. It's unusual. I will explain it. I will be mentioning it more than once through the semester. It takes some getting used to. It is also in the syllabus document. But I'm going to do a brief overview again right now, but if you're still unclear, definitely send me a text or an email or whatever. The basic overall thing is this, of the grading. The basic overall thing is this. You'll have 2 exams in this semester, 1 midterm, 1 final. You have all of the labs that you do in the lab portion of the class. At the end of the semester, the simple version is that your final lab grade, your final exam, and your midterm exam each count equally together. They get averaged together, like added together, divided by 3 to make your base grade, to make essentially your exam grade. So that's a straight, normal, everyday average. But then on top of that base grade, we add a bunch of points. How many points do we add? We add a fraction of all of these points that you've accumulated from homework and the game participation, all of those points. They've been accumulating all semester. They make one big pile of points. And at the end of the semester, we divide that entire pile by a certain number. It's not the exact same number every semester, but it's the exact same number for every student. So let's say the number is 20. So you take all of your participation points, all of your homework points, all those points together. You have like 200 of them. We divide by 20. So that makes 10. So 10 points gets added onto your base exam average. And that's a typical example. It's obviously not the same for every, it depends how many points you got. But so the idea is that your exams get averaged in a normal everyday way, and then you get all these extra points from all this stuff that you do everywhere else. And if you do, and some people have gotten up to 15 points in the past, or 12. Some people get less, like 7. But absolutely all these points that you do everywhere else, they get scaled down by one consistent factor, and they end up changing your grade by like a full letter grade in many, many cases. That's the basic system. Is it? So in terms of the percentages, so then the lab is 33%, the final exam is 33%, and the midterm is 30%. 33% of your base grade. But then we add all these points onto that. So that's why it's not a classic percentage. Like really, in the end of the day, your final exam honestly is worth less than 33%. But I can't say exactly what that is because it depends on how many extra points you got. But basically, final exams 33%, midterm 33%, lab is 33%, and then all these extra points that you get. Does that sort? I'm going to pause for a sec. Again, I'll explain it again. What like, and I could talk to you personally about it. And it's in the syllabus. It is a little unusual, but it's meant. The whole idea is that there's more than one way to get an A. You could get an A either through the exams or through tons of extra work. So I'll just pause for a second. Like the person who put that in the direct chat. Could you tell me in direct chat whether that's sort of helpful, sort of clear, or like Sophia? Could you tell me in the public chat what I said? Is that sort of address what you're asking? Is it, yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you, Sophia. Okay. And the other person, the direct chat person, did that sort of answer what you're saying, direct chat person, or? Oh, okay. Oh, I'm seeing my. Oh, thank you, Sophia. That's awesome. I get it. That's really helpful. There should be a portal for that. Again, thank you, Sophia. That's hilarious. Okay. Oh, wait, Nico's question. That's like an unusual question. So Nico's, and of course, I know we all want me to move on. I will move on, but Nico's question is great. The bottom line is no, the final exam is not departmental. I don't even know what that, well, no, I make it. And it's super similar to the final exam that was given in this course last semester. So it's super similar to the final exam that's already posted in the exam section. Like you can see what my past exam looked like, and and we'll use that as a practice exam. It's very similar to that. You can look at that in tools, under exams in the Google Classroom. We'll talk about it more when we get closer. So in that sense, it's not a departmental exam. However, if there's other sections of 204, they probably have a very similar exam too, but that's because they take it from me, not the other way around. So I don't know if that answers. Okay. So yeah, great. All right. Thank you. Okay. And I'm hoping direct chat person that I answered it for you sort of, but you can hang out afterwards if. Okay, great. Thank you. So all of you, thank you. Okay, awesome. Now let's go on. So we're going to start homework 1 right now. We're going to do it according to the 5-step method. Therefore, what I'm about to do is I'm going to pretend I'm you, right? For at least for the time being. Like what I'm about to do is what I'm asking you to do for me whenever you have a homework or an exam or whatever. Okay. So I'm on a separate sheet of paper here, right? Like blank sheets of paper. And, it's like labeled at the top, whatever, my name. The joke is you almost don't even really need your name because it's in the file, but whatever. So here's the label on the top. Okay, so these are fresh blank sheets. I don't care if it's white pieces of paper that you write on and then you scan and you make it to a PDF, or if you're like literally doing it in a computer, if you know how to handle diagrams and math and stuff on a computer, like Quark bless you. But notice what I'm really saying is that I'm not on the question sheet right now. Some of you already, you turned in homework on the question sheet. I'll explain later why I don't accept that. But so if you did, I said, please resubmit, but you'll resubmit, you'll get all the points. But this is on separate sheets, like as though it's a blue book, right? So the first thing I do, step 1, diagram and fact pattern, right? So I'm going to explain more what I mean, but I'm going to provide a diagram right now. Now, the original problem actually did provide a diagram. So in this case, my diagram is going to look very similar to the one that was provided in the problem. It's going to look very similar, especially since it's going to look very similar. Nonetheless, you do it. The original problem might not produce its own diagram, in which case it's even more important than you do it. You start with a diagram no matter what the given problem did. And even if the original problem had one, you don't electronically copy and paste that. You could hand copy it. You could make yours very similar, but you're making a diagram. There's 1,000 reasons why. I will get into the reasons later because I want to progress. But so I make a diagram here. So here's my diagram. Sorry. Okay, this is my diagram, and I'm going to say a little bit more about it in a second, but this is my diagram, and then this is my fact pattern, so to speak. Okay, so this is my step one, and say you are doing homework or an exam, you might do something like this. So like off in the corner, I've labeled it as step one DFP. Do you absolutely have to do that in your homework or exams? No, like I won't take off points if you don't literally label it step one, but it's such a good idea. It's just good for you and good for me to make it clear what you're doing while you're doing it. And you're going to understand by the end of this, not only are the steps the thing that I'm requiring of you, but in fact, it's my grading rubric. So if you just keep track of your steps as you're going and label, it's almost as though you're doing a checklist for yourself of like, am I getting all the points? Am I getting all the points? So far, what I've just done here is an example of what I'd want yours to look like when you're handing it to me. This is the beginning of the problem. I haven't even solved anything. I've just done the first step of the problem. Now I'm going to make a couple comps. So this is step one, DFP, diagram and fact pattern. Couple of comments that would be worth writing down, even though I'm not going to write them, like for your notes to write this down and maybe take a screenshot and submit them as notes if you don't like to talk a lot. Like number one, this is a diagram of the facts. This is not, generally speaking, it's not a graph or a free body diagram or other things like that. It's not, or a vector addition triangle diagram. This is not a diagram of you starting to solve the problem. This is a diagram of the problem. That's a big difference. So really, it's almost better to like call it a sketch or a picture or something. This is to show us what the scenario is, and it's super important. Okay, cool. It's super important part for a lot of reasons. One of which is we're not just doing math, we're doing physics, and physics is about space and time. So you're putting the whole thing into space, right? But let me be more specific now. So that's note number one is this is not a solving diagram. This is a problem diagram, which means it's largely informal. It's like a picture that you design how you want. But then number two, well, yeah, I'm saying these things. I'm not going to write them down because I don't want to confuse. Like, I only want to write down what you would write for me. So this is like, okay. So point number two about the diagram is it's called diagram and fact pattern. The real purpose of the diagram, or well, a big purpose of the diagram is the labels. Notice that in my diagram, I have like M, I have K, I have X, I have X naught. Those are the constants and variables that we're going to use throughout all the equations and all the math that we're going to be using to solve this problem. So like eventually when we get into the work, right, there's going to be a bunch of like K divided by X equals blah, 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 whatever. This is the moment that defines those constant and variables. So a big part of why you're making a diagram is actually to define the terms of your solution method. So the diagram you'll know is complete and is useful if it has every single letter in it that ever appears later on in your work. All your work will be clear if and only if the diagram defined those terms, okay? So in the diagram comes letters that stand for the constants and variables. Then underneath, what I call the fact pattern is when you link those general letters to specific numeric values. Like so that's, and the breeds, right? Like you see this here, like M in this case is 0.3 kilograms. K in this case is 200 newtons per meter. The reason for this distinction is that you're going to see more and more this purpose of this 5-step method, the purpose of doing it this way. At first, it's just like a pain in everybody's butt. I know that. But part of the purpose is you're trying to take my silly, arbitrary homework exercises and you're trying to actually turn them into real physics. I mean, they are real physics, but I'm asking you like an arbitrary question about some particular spring that happens to be this strong and have this heaviness on it. What you're doing is presenting a response to my problem that in and of itself could from here on in be a physics proof or a physics derivation that would apply to any spring, any mass, right? So if you have a diagram right away that's just like mass, stiffness, initial displacement, you're starting to generate like a physics article that could go into a journal. I'm not saying you're literally going to do that, but do you see what you'll see more when but so in the diagram, you label the general constants and variables. Then underneath, you give the numeric values that happen to be true for this problem. And you're going to see as we progress through physics, more and more we get rid of, we don't even care about those numerical values after a while. They're like the numbers start fading from physics because all the time, all we're trying to do is solve problems in general. So, okay, so anyway, that's step one, DFP. I'm going to look in the chat. Wait, I'm looking in the chat. Okay, I'm going to keep going. So this is all about problem one, right? I mean, question one on homework one. Oh, so I'm sorry. This is all about homework 1B, right? This is homework 1B. Okay. So that's step one. So then now step two is WIQ. What is the question? So you literally write out like, okay, question one or problem, whatever it's called. Question one is at X equals X naught. I believe that was the question. Actually, I should look, right? That is the question, isn't it? Yeah, right? Yeah, okay. So notice a couple of things. Then this step is so important and it's so easy to skip. It seems so stupid when all of these steps, when you know what's going on, they all seem stupid. But when you don't know what's going on is when they're crucial. And if you don't practice using them when you do know what's going on, then they never do anything for you when you don't know what's going on. So what I'm saying is in question one, I mean, so this is step two. What I'm saying is you literally take the question that is being asked of you and you summarize it, you distill it, you put it into your own words, which your own words might not even be words, as you see here. They might be really simple symbols and equations, but they're still a complete thought. Like I'm literally right, and you might do it a different way, but this is the question that's being asked, and it's not copy and pasted from the sheet. So you're saying at X equals X naught, at the initial position, what is the force? Right, so that's what you do for step two. And again, you're doing this even if you think you can do the whole thing in your head, which many of you can. I know question one, you could just do in your head. Nonetheless, you're writing down what happened in your head, which is something along these lines. So you write step two, what is the question? Okay. So now we move on. Well, yeah, okay, so now we move on to step three. GDP. Step three, GDP, means you're going to, in effect, do what you learned in third grade or seventh grade whenever you're solving word problems in a math class or something. You're going to do that thing of writing down what you know. I mean, you may remember, like when you were younger, they always told you, write down what you know first and then write down what you're solving for or something like that. Or there was like WYSIWYG or something. So yeah, you're going to write down what you know, but notice this. Now, this is important. This is a big, we're not in seventh grade. We're not in third grade. We're in physics where actually there's different ways to know things. There's different types of what you know. There's different types of truths. In fact, everything in physics looks like an equation, but there are different types of equations. Specifically, there's different types of equal signs and many of you know this and some of you don't. What I'm saying is in step one, we already wrote down what we know. we wrote down what we know about this particular problem. In step one, we wrote diagram fact pattern. We wrote down what is known in this particular problem. Now, I want you to back up and write down something that you know in general before you even looked at this problem, something that is true in the universe, whether or not there's this particular spring sitting on this particular table. So this is for general definitions and principles, i.e., well, definitions for sure, principles, laws. Often these are going to be equations, what you might consider to be formulas, although I don't really like that word. This is where you're going to write down the equations that you need to solve this problem. So, for example, here, what's known Oops. Right. And then you don't necessarily, I mean, since we're out of nowhere here, we haven't even, I'm writing all this English because for the first time, we're even talking about masses and springs and all that. So I'm making clear what this law is. You know, once you're in context, you might not have to write all those words, but the general definition or principle I'm talking about here is Hooke's law, F equals negative KX. That's what I'm writing down, for this. Okay, so I'm writing down F equals negative KX. Again, step one, I wrote down fact of the problem. Step three, I'm writing down facts of the universe, such as a law or a definition. Yeah, okay. So I've written that down. I'm just thinking if there's anything I forgot to say. Okay, so now I go to step four. Oh, and flag also. Right now, my focus is so heavily on just showing you how to do the homework and how to solve problems that's what I'm focusing on. When we, if you're like, wait, what is F equals negative KX? Or if you're like, I've seen this in physics 203, but I was never comfortable with it, or something like that, just make a note of that. There will still be time next week for us to slow down and like actually talk about the physics of what I mean by F equals negative KX. But yes, for the moment, I'm assuming that we're still in a realm, like this is this homework sheet, this first homework sheet is to transition us from the old material to the new material. That's what it's meant to do. So just to be clear, right now at this stage, technically this material comes up at the end of classical mechanics, physics 1. So right now I'm still assuming that we sort of like are aware of it or familiar with it from old physics. That may not be true for all of you. So it's not the last opportunity to get that straight. Make a note. If you're still uncomfortable with that equation, we could talk about it next week. But right now, I'm saying it, that F equals negative KX is true for any mass on any string, on any spring. So now I'm going to step 4. Wait, are there any, I'm just looking in the chat if there's any, okay, that's okay. Oh, that's fair. Okay, my quick re-explanation of step 3 is GDP, general definitions and principles. And again, also that, you know, you want the words, like it's in that sheet in tools in Google Classroom, but general definitions and principles. So what I really mean by step 3 is where you write down anything that is true even before this problem started, but relevant to this problem. Anything that is true in the universe, not just true in this problem, but somehow helpful for this problem, like laws and definitions or equations. Okay, like F equals negative KX. And tell me, Danielle, if that worked for you, or I'm going to keep going until but if it did, that's good. Okay, great. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, so now step 4. Step 4 is PAW. Particular application and work. Particular application and work. So see, in step 3, we zoomed way out. Like, well, step 1, we're like, here's our problem. Here it is. Step 2, we're like, this is what sorry, let me start again. Step 1, we're like, here's a situation. Step 2 is like, here's our question about the situation. Step 3 is, here's what we know in the world that might help to the situation. So now step 4, we're zooming into the situation and applying what we know from the world, laws, etc., to the situation. So we went from general to particular. We're zooming into the particular now. We're going to apply the general to the particular, and we're going to do the work. So the way you know that you're transitioning to step 4, a keyword that I almost always use when I'm doing this stuff, is I'll say something, I'll use the word here, or like in this case, and I'll say something like K equals 200 newtons per meter, right? X equals X naught in this case, according to the problem, which is 0.15 meters. Oh, and then I'm going to plug in a second. I'm going to plug in, but I have to admit there. So on the next page, I'm going to plug in. I have to admit there's something subtle but important that I've overlooked here. In the original thing, when you make the diagram and you label everything, one thing I totally neglected to label that's super important in physics, and my bad, is I should have labeled not just all the constants and variables, but I should have labeled my axes. I should have said something like, this direction is positive and this direction is negative. Now the up and down direction don't matter. This is a purely horizontal problem. But I should make it clear, I'm calling anything to the right positive. I'm calling anything to the left negative. I don't have to make that decision. I actually could do it the other way around. But I have to make a decision and make it clear. So I'm calling, and why did I make to the right positive? Because in the problem, the way it was given, it says the thing is sitting, it had it sitting to the right, and it called that place positive 15 meters. So I'm going with that, 15 centimeters. So I'm going with that. I'm labeling everything to the right positive and everything to the left negative. Sorry. So here, X naught equals 0.15 meters positive, and K equals positive 200 newtons per meter. So here this is still step 4 continued. So now I'm doing like the math. I'm plugging in. This is where trigonometry would come in, algebra, calculus, whatever's happening. This will be a long. Usually, the bigger the problem, the more involved this part is. But so I'm going to say, hello. And here I'm tracking my units and doing all the science, math stuff that we're all used to doing. Right. So I'm doing all the work. When I get to the final, I'm about to have a final answer. So I'm now going to go to step 5, which is final FAC, facts, final answer circled. So I'm literally going to, now my final answer is going to be a complete thought that explicitly ties me back to the original question. this is what we would do if this were a research paper or whatever. You know, no matter how hard or involved the problem is, this is the format. So, I say, so here's my final answer circled. Notice a couple of things about the final answer. One, it's a complete thought. It's not 30. Well, first of all, it has a negative sign in it. And I hope we can talk about the physics of that next week too. Remind me if you don't like the negative sign. Do you have to have the negative sign? Yes, you do. If X naught is called positive 0.15, then the force is negative 30. If you labeled your axes differently and you made the whole thing different, then yeah. So the negative totally. Wait, what did I do wrong? Wait, sorry. Times. Wait, so there's things happening in the chat. Like, I totally agree that someone wrote in the private chat, the negative tells us the direction. Yes. In other words, yes. So if the thing was sitting to the right of the equilibrium position, so we have this spring here that's like attached to the wall on the left. The mass is pulled out to the right from equilibrium. Let me back up. What do I mean by equilibrium? I mean the place where the edge of the spring would sit relaxed if we didn't do anything to it. If we just let it sit for 1,000,000 years, it would sit. The edge of the spring would sit at a place that I'm now going to label equilibrium, or I'm going to label x equals 0. So then we shove this. Is that me doing that? That's so weird. Sorry. Right. Okay, I'm just looking at the chat. So yeah. And so then we put this mass on a spring and we pull it out and we hold it 15 centimeters away from where it would normally sit, to where it would be relaxed, where the spring would not be stretched or compressed. We stretch the spring out 15 centimeters and we hold the thing there. Now, we're calling that rightward direction positive. We don't have to, that's not special, but that's just the way we've decided in the picture. We could turn the whole we could do a whole different thing, but we want to be self-consistent with whatever we're doing. So we're holding the mass there at 15 centimeters to the right of its equilibrium position. And what we're asking is how hard and in what direction is the spring yanking on that mass, like while we hold it there. I think we all intuitively know if we let go of this mass, it's going to be yanked toward equilibrium. It's going to start moving to the left. So the spring is pulling with a certain number of newtons. The spring is pulling on this mass right now as I'm holding it there. It's pulling it with 30 newtons of force, but it's pulling it to the left. If right was called positive, then left is called negative. So yes, our answer is negative 30 newtons. That means the thing is pulling, it means the spring is pulling the mass to the left. It's not going to the left yet or anything because I haven't let go of it yet, but if I let go of it, it will. So I think, so if Abdul is saying that he now, I think it's a he, sorry, if Abdul is saying he now gets something he didn't get before, that's great. And he should totally submit for points for closing a conversational loop. Nico's thing, I think I follow, but I think we're in agreement with Nico, right? Yeah, like I think Nico is like multiplayer co-oping, like just like helping everybody understand, which is great. So I think we're on the same page. Tell me if we're not on the same page. But notice as far as the method, and I know we have 6 minutes left. Notice as far as the method that my final answer is not just a number. It's not just like okay. Sorry, I didn't see Abdul's. Sorry. Right. Okay, but Abdul gets it now. Okay, so totally both of you, like honestly, again, both Abdul and Nico should submit in the portal for multiplayer co-op because you both just helped each other. And you did it publicly, which is great for everyone because there's tons of people that are not saying anything that are, believe me, Abdul, you're not the only one that got that number. And Nico's, you get my point. So both of you should submit for multiplayer co-op. Also, you can submit for closing a conversational path because you did that. Also, I'm going to say there's another portal for, well, I don't want to get, there's even portals for submitting answers, period, whether they're right or wrong. There's one that's called like for right or for wrong that you should, anytime you have the guts to put any kind of answer in the chat that could be right or wrong, but any kind of answer that anybody could comment on, that's gutsy in a Zoom class, in a physics class. So the fact that Abdul put an answer at all, he should put in the portal that says for right or for wrong. And that applies to all of you, obviously, all the time. And same with Nico. But I also want to say, at the risk of embarrassing anybody or anything like that, look, it does turn out that Abdul's initial answer that he put in happened to have been wrong. There's a separate portal that he can put that in, like that same answer. Not only can he put it in the portal that says for right or for wrong, just because it was anything, he can also literally put that in the portal for wrong answers and get extra points for having a wrong. And I'm not saying this to be silly. I'm dead serious. If you ever have an answer in the chat or anywhere or vocally that anybody says is wrong, you get points for that. Remind me to talk to you more. I'm so serious. And I have 1,000 reasons why. And if you're if you're hearing me, do it. Whatever, I'm sure you can imagine what my reasons are for that. And if you're thinking, well, can't I beat the system by putting a wrong answer in every single day publicly? Yes, you can. And good luck. I dare you. No, like, I dare you. Like, seriously. I don't mean that angrily. I mean, well, I think you know what I mean. I mean, go ahead. And I won't be angry. I'll be impressed. But what I'm really saying is we all know we've been at John Jay long enough. We've been science students long enough. Nobody likes being wrong in public, and we should all get used to being more wrong in public. There's nothing to stop you from putting a wrong answer in every single day and getting points for that. The only thing that stops you is everybody's pride and ego and fear that's been stressing everybody out for years as science students that I'm trying to get rid of. So go ahead, get used to being wrong in public. Like, welcome to my world. And I'm not saying that critically. I'm saying that I'm honestly, okay. So we're just, as I warned you, we're not probably I'm going to give you some answers in a second, just so that you have more to go on. But notice that the final answer circled here is not just a number, it's a full sentence and it has a condition. It's like, at this condition, the final force equals this many units, and it ties back directly to the original question. So with 3 minutes left, like, that's how you do the method. That's what you're going to do for everything, unless told otherwise, for every question. Do you have to redraw the diagram for every subsequent question? No, you can always say C above, C above, C above. Okay, but you do have to acknowledge every step in every future question. I just lost my stylus. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Okay, note. With 2 minutes left. Well, I might not be able to give you other answers. Well, I'll read them off really quickly in a second. The standards, the way you know that you're doing the method right, and the way you know it's working. I don't know why that's upside down. It'll flip in. Oh, I don't know why that's upside down. Oh, Jesus. Sorry. I think I just erased the entire PDF. Oh my God. Wait. This might be the end of class. Oh my God. Oh, that's so bad. Okay. Sorry. I just gave away my age by not even remembering undo. Right? That's such a, okay. I'm gonna really quickly write this. Okay, here's quickly what I mean by this. You will know, and we'll do more answers and more on Monday. You will know you're doing the method correctly, or at least close to correctly. If number one, at the end, you've produced a self-sufficient document, a document that any other physicist could read and follow and give you feedback. In other words, a document you could put in a journal and get peer review on. It might not be the most interesting document, but your document should not require, a reader should be able to, a physics person should be able to follow everything you're doing without knowing what the original homework assignment was from class. Like you're trying to change homework exercises into actual physics work. So that's what the method is trying to do for you. So, okay. Then number two, you'll know it's working, especially when the physics problems start getting hard. When if you look at a problem and you have no idea what to do, you can't even imagine what to do, let alone what the answer is going to look like. But if by just writing down step one, just breaking it down and doing, all right, fine, I'm just going to draw a picture. All right, fine, I'm just going to write down what the question is. Okay, fine, I'm just going to write down it. If you start following the method, it'll start generating for you answers and methods that you didn't even see what they were because the trick of this whole method really is steps 1, 2, and 3. It's setting up what we used to always call showing all work. This point of this method is to set you up so by the time you're showing all work, the work is doing itself. The hard part is in set up, and this is teaching you how to set up physics problems. Okay, we'll stop with that. I know it's 4:20. I'm still here. You could stay and ask questions or make appointments or whatever, but you got to go. Have a really nice, I hope it's clear. Have a great weekend. I'm turning off the recording, but I'm still here. Have a great weekend. Or whatever. Thank you. Okay.